Okay, it's been a while since I've made a video. I think that I was lacking some inspiration. I started a couple projects, then kind of dropped and just kind of lost interest. But last night I was scrolling through videos and I saw an ad for Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence, and I thought that's odd. And I looked more into it, and I found out that it's turning 20 years old. I can't believe it. I really can't. And it's going to be back in a very limited screening for 3 days in June. And I'm excited about it. So I thought, okay, this is a great opportunity to talk about a film that I love. Now, I think that I, at the time, enjoyed the first film and Akira. Those two films really blew me away. I think I like those films a little bit better. However, in Ghost in the Shell 2, there are still some scenes that I think about to this day. I would say this has this ambience to it. It's an ambient film, and the pacing is a masterclass in pacing. I love it so much, and I reference it and think about it all the time when I'm thinking about different scenes or different portions of a film and how to slow things down, or allowing the viewer to really soak it in what you're trying to show visually to them. So this won't be a deep dive into any sort of analysis, more so an appreciation for some scenes that I think are really special to get us excited about this upcoming theatrical release. So here we go. The year is 2004. 3 years past 9/11, the war on terror is still roaring. The cancer known as Facebook just launched. The Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami. Toho Studios would release Godzilla's 50th anniversary movie. Half-Life 2 was released. NASA launched and landed on Mars with 2 of its rovers. And the world got to experience Ghost in the Shell 2 for the first time. As I was putting this video together, I remembered that I bought a Ghost in the Shell book a little while ago, and it's a really cool one. I highly recommend it for any fan out there. It's Ghost in the Shell Read Me 95 to 2017. It's very cool. I like that it says Read Me. It's a little nod to the nerds there. I used this. There's some really cool details in it that I was able to learn a little bit more about, and then incorporate some into this video. So check it out. I think I got this one on Amazon years ago when it first was released. It was really difficult for me to watch Japanese animation back in 2004. I can't remember when I saw it. It wasn't right at that date. I think it was closer to maybe 06, 07. And either it was one of those Netflix DVD subscriptions I had at the time, or one of those 2000s torrent sites. I can't remember. And I used to read a blog, a website called Cyberpunk Review. And I think that's where a lot of my favorite movies came from that time frame. The person who ran the site would give a review, write a pretty lengthy article about it, and kind of rank it, and then the visuals and the themes and all that. And I remember always loving reading that, and then just putting together a little wish list of things to check out on Netflix. Is it on Netflix? Can I rent the DVD? If not, can I, go download on a shady torrent site? And mind you, I didn't have good internet then. So, you could be downloading 2 weeks, 2 weeks of downloading something for it to be, not very good. So there was a lesson in patience there back in the day. Okay, so what is Ghost in the Shell 2 Innocence really about? It's a little confusing, but the main story centers around the investigation of gynoids killing their owners, and a mysterious corporation called Locus Solus that is responsible for producing them. The film contains many CG shots, and I usually say that with great disdain, but this one really blends CG and hand-drawn elements beautifully. It handles it so well. On that note, I can't help but to wonder what happened in Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex 2045, the Netflix 2020 release. Who looked at this art style and said, yep, that's good. I know good art, and this is good art. It's bad. I have avoided watching this. It just looks dumb. It looks like a PSP game. If this is your first entry to it, if you and the first film came out in '95, Netflix wasn't around. If your first entry into the series is through this 2020 release, I don't think you're going to be into watching the rest of the films. You're going to say this is, you're going to look at this and you're just going to dismiss it all. So a really bad call there. I don't know who's responsible for it. I don't know who thought that looks good. Okay, so I want to touch on 3 locations/scenes for this video. The first one is the headquarters of Locus Solus. And reading a little bit more in the book about it, that it was modeled after the Milan Cathedral. Watching this film and looking at the Milan Cathedral as the inspiration and where they go to, I always thought it was a little strange that they chose this, because the rest of the film has a very Asian-centric aesthetics to it. A lot of it has the style modeled after, what would look like Hong Kong or Taiwan. And they go to this place and it clearly looks very European. Even the name of the company, Locus Solus, is a name of a French novel from, I believe the early 1900s. The next scene that I wanted to talk about is this night driving scene with Bato and Togasa. It sets the pace and the mood of the film. There is this ambient pulse that runs through the film, and it starts here with this driving shot. There is this kind of touch of melancholy and this introspective nature to all of the characters in this film. And they kind of set that pacing right at the start of the film. I couldn't find it in the book of why exactly they drove around these retro cars. But it's an interesting design choice. I like it. I think it's really cool. It gives it kind of a little bit of a little bit of noir, like a little bit of an old school detective driving these vehicles. There's something really kind of beautifully analog about it. You have Bato, who's very heavily modified, driving this retro car. There's something kind of interesting about that. And so the last scene I want to talk about is known as the festival or parade scene. I think it's such an artistic achievement. I think about this all the time when I'm thinking about pacing in my own work and ambience, how to make an audience feel a moment, to feel this reflective moment in the film. It's such a departure from what is happening in the narrative and the dark imagery that we've been seeing, to have this moment where they go to this kind of what they describe as like this lawless zone, to have this festival, a very human-like festival happening with children running around, but they're going after, these androids that are killing their owners, and then this corporation, which is kind of this faceless corporation, but then you have this real kind of human moment in this festival happening. It's really beautiful. And I think it's such a special scene that I can't think of many other films that have had this sort of moment in it to really draw you in. I think there really is that this ambience there, and I don't know how else to describe it. There's moments of that in the first film, and I can't really think about the series too much right now if there's moments in that. I have to rewatch those. But I still think about the scene, and I can't wait to see it in theaters to really get immersed by it. Because when I first watched this movie, I think it was on a tiny, like a CRT monitor, or maybe it might even have been a laptop for that matter at that time. And, seeing it on 720p, 480p, something like that. So I'm really excited to really feel the music and the visuals of these scenes. Okay, that's it for today. I hope this was fun to watch. Just a little bit of an appreciation for this beautiful film. 20 years old. Happy birthday, Ghost in the Shell 2. What a fun way to celebrate it by watching it in theaters again. And who knows? Maybe we will get another Ghost in the Shell 3? Will we get a Ghost in the Shell 3 sometime in the future? And not have 2045 be the last one they ever do. I hope not. The first 10 years to almost 10 years from 95 to 2004. 2004, we're at 2024. So 10, 20, we're getting closer around to that time frame for a Ghost in the Shell 3. I hope that it happens. I hope that happens, guys. And then maybe, will the next one be 30 years? Jesus. Okay. All right. That's it for today. I hope it was fun, and catch you all in the next one. Okay. Bye for now.